Okay, so this is the first episode of Iris Unscripted, and I'm here today with Lori Tully first. And the question is, after you introduce yourself, of course, is what's the one positive thing that's happened recently to improve the employment rate of individuals who are blind or visually impaired, particularly in light of the fact that the rest of the employment rate has been shrinking and the employment rate for the demographic of blind and visually impaired has stayed right stubbornly around 70–75%. Lori?
Well, thanks, Steve. Yes, my name's Lori Tully, and I'm the vocational developer here at the Iris Network. And it sounds like you're asking, what are some of the potentially positive things about our currently historic low unemployment rate as it relates to people with disabilities? I'd say some of the potential lies in the fact that there are a lot of myths about what it takes to open a door for otherwise qualified people. And the realities are often that a very simple fix exists. People often have some usable vision. That's a myth, I think, that a lot of employers don't understand, that can be maximized. Another myth that's persisted, I think, for a long time is that accommodations are costly or complex, and that's not true either. So those are a couple of things I see.
Can I just jump in for a moment? So I'm mom and pop shop in Old Orchard Beach, Maine, and I want to, quote, do the right thing. I don't have any exposure to somebody who's blind, and I'm thinking, what are they going to be able to do in my little shop in the summer? I mean, what kind of accommodations can I provide for this person? And you're saying that they're simple. I'm thinking that they might be bigger than that.
Right.
Prove me wrong.
Right. So I would say to mom and pop shop, first of all, congratulations, good for you for thinking outside the box and for having the question. And the good news is you don't have to figure it all out on your own. Reach out. That's part of why we're here. We're one of the resources for you.
So who do I reach out to? Make it easy for me.
You could reach out to Steve Kelley at the Iris Network. You could also reach out to me as the job developer.
774-6273 and ask for Steve or Lori and say, I've got a question.
Absolutely, because you don't have to have all the answers, but the fact that you're asking the question is a fantastic start.
So people could also call, although I don't have the number off the top of my head, the Division for the Blind and Visually Impaired within the state, DBVI, and they could talk to any one of the vocational rehab counselors there who would also be able to point them in the right direction, because they are not there just for the potential employee, they're also there for the employer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And again, going back to the mom and pop shop, if you're concerned about making the most of the upcoming summer season, like most Maine businesses are, reach out.
Great. Thanks, Lori. Now, Elise Tabor. Elise, same question for you. And first, tell me who you are at the Iris for the Iris Unscripted.
So, my name is Elise Tabor, and I'm the Access Technology Specialist. And I think that one of the things that is really important is for people to just know things. And sometimes knowing just little bits of information can be very powerful. So knowing that a blind person can walk down the street safely, and that white cane that they're using is helping them navigate. But that's not a lot to know. It's just a little fact. But those little facts end up coming together to create a lot of knowledge and just knowing that someone can do something. I work in the tech department, and there's so much technology out there. And my specific job is to find ways for people to access that technology with or without some or no usable vision. And there's a lot more ways to do that than people might think. And some of it can be fun, but again, it's just knowing things are possible and just knowing little bits of information here and there that makes a huge difference, because the more one person knows, they share that information.
So I'm going to play devil's advocate again, and now I'm mom and pop shop in Kennebunkport, Maine, and I don't have thousands of dollars to spend on technology for that new employee who might be blind, but they've got all the other qualifications, and I'd really like to hire them because I think that they would be a good fit for my place. How am I going to afford this stuff?
Well, the good news is you don't necessarily have to. There are funds all over, scholarships or funds that people have put together, charitable businesses, and such as the Lions Club, and but also the state services are there to guide not only the potential employees but also the employers through this kind of a process, and say, okay, this piece of technology may cost $1,000, but there's also this that works, and this only costs say $100 or $200, and there are many options out there, and it doesn't have to be as daunting and scary as it might seem without a ton of information in the field. So reaching out again is a really good way to learn about these things and find out how simple it can be.
So wait, is this where we plug the Iris network again, 774-6273, and they ask for Elise Tabor or Steve Kelley or Lori Tully, or they could also call DBVI to ask the same questions.
That's what we're here for, resource, information.
It's a wrap.